I hope everyone's well. So, welcome to my channel. If you've not been here before, it's where I talk about twin flame process. And this reading is just going to be for this weekend, I think, really. See what they say. It's the 1st of May today, and it's a very significant weekend um, as it is the weekend I met him, my twin. And I just wanted to say as well, see what they've just shown me straight away. So we've got the Knight of Cups, which is love moving forward. It's like the movement towards love. And the Sun, which is really good energy and also kind of represents this weekend as well. So in the States, it's Memorial Day weekend, which is when the beach is open. And so I'll just tell you what just happened. So I was just having a shower and I was feeling this energy of like, just like freshening up energy, like really good energy. And I was having a shower. And the past few weeks, I've had flashes of like San Francisco just suddenly coming in. And I went there once. He used to live there. So I know when I went there, which was not that long ago, I had to go there because he'd lived there for some reason. I still don't know the full reason. Just to touch on that, well, we don't know. They won't tell me, I don't need to know basically. But I know it was because of that. Um, so, first of all, I just remembered that in the shower. I get a lot of clarity coming in when I'm having a shower. And then I was like, well, this freshened feeling, it really feels like when I used to live in New York and I used to get up on a Saturday morning and it would be the weekend and it'd be like fun times and, um, you know, lots of possibilities around love because often I'd start off, just having a nice day and then possibility of seeing him would come in sometimes. So that kind of came over me. And then from there, I was like, well, I wonder why I'm feeling that. Because I just feel this energy, that old energy of feeling really good and feeling ready for something and bright and sparkly kind of, I was using like a lemony fresh scent in the shower as well. It was all kind of coming together. And then kind of what came in, I had more clarity, was that this is Memorial. I hadn't thought about it being Memorial Day, and suddenly I realised it was Memorial Day weekend, and that's when we met. So it kind of clarified how the energy is moving forward into like that energy of wanting love, moving forward into love, being ready for love, it being brand new, and it feeling really good, and everything coming on top of that. So that's kind of where we're at this weekend. Um, I don't know where you are at in your processes. I hope you are, how um, kind of generating the energy and moving forward, because it's always got to be about moving forward and not looking back. Really, like I say, I had forgotten about Memorial Day weekend, but it just came in through clarity as I was feeling good, and I pretty much let go of him completely now. I don't think about him at all, really. So, but yeah, so that's where they're saying it's at right now. So I'm going to pull some cards because this is obviously an important weekend. I just want to tell you as well, I just finished a 72-hour fast. So if my voice is a bit croaky, it's because my body kind of went into a bit of lockdown state whilst I went through it, for me to just like be focused on getting through it, basically. So I'm just coming out of that, which interestingly as well finished yesterday. So I think that's got something to do with the energy as well. So let's have a look and see what they've got to say for the collective. Oh, okay, so we've got this jumping out, the Queen of Swords, which is the brain of the feminine. It's got that jumping out there. I'll tell you a lot of things that they've been telling me, because this is really relative to what they've been telling me over the past couple of weeks as well. And the connection that goes on in the brain, and how it's, I think I've said before, it's the last point of reference between the two. And it's not about thinking about each other, it's about basically just being clear in the head of each other. So it's not when you're thinking about them, that's not what they're talking about. It's when you're not thinking about them. And it's when you come into a position of authority of what goes on in your own mind and how you allow yourself to go into your thoughts and what thoughts are having and the power over your thought process, basically, which is there's a let go that goes on, which is the releasing of all fear, and in that case, the releasing of all resistance. And then there's a point that goes on in the head, in the feminine, which is a much brighter prospect of where clarity can come through that let go, and intuition can really start to come in. And in that, there's a lot of knowing, claircognizance about where you're at on the journey and what's going on with you, what has been going on with you the whole time on the journey. And that it's in that there's a real stepping away from all kinds of fear, every kind of fear, because you've got fear that comes in and manifests in many different ways on this journey. But it's you're clearing fear on this journey. So, and that is always brought to you for you to clear it. So for you to recognize what is fear, what isn't fear, and come into an authority over not allowing yourself to be in a state of fear, which of course is then not being in a state of resistance. So in a non-resistant state inside of you, in your brain, a free and easy state, which is then a feeling good state, right? And everything evolves from feeling good. So the feeling good is the closest to the vibration of solidarity, and that's where everything arrives from in terms of your physical life. So, like they say, the last point is the brain, because it's not the emotions, because if you've got clarity in the brain and you've got cleared in the brain, you will have been through that emotional process, and then the clarity in the brain is a let go, and then the emotions are steady and fine, and then the vibration is, and then everything comes from there. So that's kind of where you're looking at the brain here in the feminine. And of course, you're connected through the brain. So your brain being like that and your thinking process being like that is the same in the masculine. So it's a clarity in the mind that brings the love forward into the physical reality. It's like female brain, feminine, and then you get a bounce on effect. Masculine brain, right, goes into there, clarity from freedom here, clarity there, and then love moving forward there. So you could even draw it in some kind of mathematical diagram, right, of how it works energetically. That's how the love moves forward. And of course, you've got vibration surrounding it all, because vibration is outside of everything. So it's clarity in the vibration as well that allows it to move forward, the trajectory. Let's get these out now. Ten of Pentacles, which is completion in the physical domain. So that is completion in the physical life on the earth, in your physical experience, coming from the brain of the feminine, and the let go that goes on in the brain, which is a let go of all, everything's in there. So it's every single program that you've been running in terms of fear. Victim programs, grief programs, worry programs, they're all resistance. They're all a resistance to feeling good. So whenever you touch on those in your head, whenever you come back to those thoughts, those woe is me thoughts, right, about how your life has been or turned out, or how you felt in the past about things, right, and reflecting on that, all that clears at the end of the journey. You don't have that anymore. You're just in a space of it's like whatever. That's not how my life is now. It's like a self-willed determination to really have a good life by feeling good, because you can't have one any other way. It's only about feeling good. It doesn't matter what you want that's out there, right, in terms of things or people. That is outside of you. So that's not where anything happens in terms of what comes to you. All that wanting doesn't get you anywhere. What gets you everywhere is just bringing back into yourself and being like, well, whatever, I feel great. And you get there on this process, through this process. There were some points where you are out here and you're in the wanting and the victim and the woe is me kind of energy, but you don't end up there. You end up in this like place of like clarity around just what it is to feel good, and wanting more of that feeling good, and in that more of letting go in the head is where you end up. Okay, so that's the completion in the physical domain. So it's kind of like it's not having anything in the physical domain to start with, because it's just about how you feel inside of yourself. So actually the completion in the physical isn't about all this stuff coming in that you want. It's just about you being all right without that stuff and not needing it anymore, and not kind of thinking about it anymore, and not being a term or a condition around you being here. So it's a big let go of all that stuff, right? And feeling good because you let go of it. Not whenever you're out there still wanting it, you're hanging on to it. You're not letting go of it. So the let go comes first, and that's an actual completion. And from that, anything can come. So when you're out there in all this wanting, there's very few things that you want. You want that person. That's one big thing that you want. There's a lot of focus on that a lot of the time in the journey. And there's other things, life to be easier, right? Not so much hardship. You don't want to feel scared. You don't want to feel worried. You want things to just work out for you. It's all this kind of stuff, right? It's not really about things like money, houses and cars, although that could be out here as well. But it's an emotional journey, so it's all the emotional things you want. But when you're in that energy of wanting those things, it's very distinct what you want, right, emotionally. And actually the end of the journey is you don't know what you want anymore because you let go of all those things. So it means what can come is anything. Possibilities are endless. Once you've not got certain things that, when you're in that emotional state on the journey, you might not even really want those things, because until you're complete and you've let go, it's like you're not in a place to really be knowing what you want, because it's not coming from a clarity and a let go and a feeling great. It's coming from a worry and a stress and a fear. You see what I mean? So completion in the physical is like a let go of everything that you've ever thought you wanted, which is an allowance for what you really want from your higher self, from your ultimate knowing to come in. Okay? Vibration, Queen of Wands, which is vibration of the feminine. So we're coming into, obviously, rollover week every week. We're always coming into better and better energy, more of a let go, and that's for each of us individually or on our individual trajectories. So always coming into more authority through vibration. So again, it's like the let go in the mind, and it's not a focus on vibration. So yeah, at some points on this journey, you might be focused on noticing vibration and being asked to like draw back into self and focus on vibration. But ultimately, once you've done that work, it's not a focus on vibration. It's just because you've got it there, right? So it's a feeling good that creates the vibration, and it's not even a focus on the feeling good anymore. It just is a feeling good. So that's where you get to at the end of the journey. So you get to this vibration of clarity and authority over your physical life, completion in the physical life vibration. We've got changing vibration in Five of Wands. So you're connected to somebody, you have a one vibration between you. So you've only got the one vibration. It's not two vibrations connected, it's one vibration. So we've got changing vibration there in the Five of Wands. Here we've got healing, Knight of Pentacles. I'm just going to get the rest of these out now. We've got moon. We've got a moon coming on the 11th. It's a new moon. Three Pentacles, which is creation in the physical world. King of Cups, heart of the masculine, and mastery over the heart. Sun, really good energy. And Nine of Swords, ending in the mind. And that's the feminine process. And underneath we've got King of Wands, which is mastery of the masculine energy. So, like we say, there isn't two. You're not sharing two vibrations. You're sharing one vibration. So the process of the masculine and the feminine coming together which is, yes, you two people, but it's also what comes together inside that vibration. So like we said, right, check that's running still. It's like this process of you coming back to self, right? So you coming back to self like that, as they've said, is the process of the vibration coming into the place of mastery. So, and again, it's not something that you can necessarily, at some points in the journey, focus on doing that, because you'll be all over the place in emotions, but at some point you will get to it, and we're getting to where more and more people are getting to it. And certainly some of us who have been on this journey for a long time are getting there. And in that mastery of vibration that goes on in the feminine, so it's the feminine that's guided to come into this mastery and doing all this like purposeful letting go, focusing on the emotions, focusing on the thoughts, noticing what's going on in there, the awareness of that, right? And that changes the vibration. So remember, you're changing the vibration of two. So what's in that vibration is the masculine and feminine energies, because there's two energies that are replicate everything on in the physical dimension. So that is your mastery of those energies inside of yourself, right? So there's never any need to look out of yourself at the other person that you're connected to and see what's going on there. Even more and more of that where we're getting to right now, because the whole thing arrives from your energy alone, because you're the one mastering the energy. So we've got the moon here. We've got the moon coming up, and we've just been through a really powerful moon. In fact, we're in eclipse season now, supermoon season, through May. So it's like what comes with the moon is really, really powerful in mastering masculine energy. And the masculine energy is inside of you. So it's about focusing on how are you feeling? How are you thinking? How are you worrying? How are you stressing? Noticing your vibration around those things. So again, it's like the let go in the mind, and it's the feeling good, and the feeling good of you is the healing of the masculine energy, right? So we're looking at more of that changing vibration, masculine heart. So this person that you're connected to, the masculine outside of yourself, when they come into the position where they're able to love again, it's because you've mastered the vibration, the whole vibration, and you've come back to self. The reason I paused is because this is a really triggering kind of a thing that they're saying here, because as soon as you start to talk about masculine heart and then being ready to love, it's like you go out of yourself again, right? And you start to focus on that person outside of yourself and what's going on with them. And when we say they're ready to love again, what comes up in the mind with everybody that's in this connection is, well, they're with somebody else and they're loving somebody else, and they, therefore they don't love me. So that is one of the things you need to step away from in your head, because that is not the truth. All right, because if they're in a relationship with somebody else, it's because it's a karmic relationship or it's a false twin and it's not you. So you need to let go of that. You don't need to think about it and come to a decision about it, right? With that queen there, you don't need to think about these things. You just need to know them, because knowing is clarity. Thinking is not. Thinking is being corded and having hooks in you and trying to figure it out from the ego. You can't figure it out from the ego, because it's the only process of the ego in this is letting go of the ego. It's one of the things you've got to let go of. You let go of the fear ego. So you let go of those thoughts about that. So when we're talking about mastery of the heart, we're talking about a freedom energy. And this is the energy to love again. And love being the operative word. So it's like being in a relationship without any fear. Again, it's a pullback, right, for the feminine in this masculine coming into this energy. So once the feminine's pulled back from the fear, the masculine's opening up into being able to love again. So as you pull back to self, they open up into being able to reach out. So that's how it works, right? So if you're stuck there inside your head and you're thinking, well, why isn't this happening? Because I know I should be with this person. I want this person. We've got this thing. It's gone on. It's because you're out there and you're thinking. So you've got to pull back to self, right? And if you pull back to self, you'll be mastery of your own ego, mastery of the masculine. The masculine is ego. And then through that mastery of yourself and just sitting there in a knowing position, you've got that knowing, which is clarity in the mind, which is a freedom in the emotions, which is a feeling good in the emotions, which is a vibration of strength, which is really good in the sun here, which changes a whole vibration, which brings lets the masculine open up and be ready to love again. So they move towards like wanting real love in their life, you know, the non-fearful love. Okay, so we got that there. Healing in the physical and creating here in the physical as well. So it's like the healing that you're creating is that. It's everything that they just said. The healing that comes is the being able to love again. So if you can imagine whatever fears you got inside yourself around loving, and a lot of these fears with the one that you're connected to will be like, well, they said this, they did that, they're with that person, you know, they've made this ultimatum, they're giving me these terms and conditions, or whatever it is. And you've got all these fear around this person, right? So that fear that is the fear that you're healing. So it can't be healed until you've let go of all that. The letting go is the healing. And the knowing that it's going to revolve around your vibration in a state of let go of all that fear. Okay, so again, it's like your focus would be on not focusing on those fears and letting go of those fears. Because you can have a conversation inside of yourself where you'll come into higher self or lower self. Lower self will have those fears. Higher self will say, no, you can't have those fears because you know that this is more than that. So those things don't really matter that that person's been saying or acting out or whatever. So you just remove that scenario from inside of you. Again, you pull it back together, right? And that's the healing. Because the healing in the physical, what you see emerging in the physical, creating in the physical, comes from the healing of your activity or in your vibration. It's not the activity in the physical world that heals. It's the activity in the vibration that heals. And again, brings it into the heart. So just to say with the moon, there's always an opportunity to be doing that, right? To be focusing on what the story really is, what the journey really is, and not what you would think it to be, right? This egoic kind of understanding. But what you can let go and understand it is from a higher perspective. What did we have underneath? Masculine energy. And then we've got opposite here, Nine of Swords. So that's like ending in the mind of the feminine in the brain, right? So ultimately, we're looking at this let go. You might feel it coming in. If you let go, you might get some clarity through. You might have a wider, broader perspective, understanding of what's going on in the journey from an energetic point of view. Like I said, when I go in the shower, I get this enlightenment that comes in. I get it other times, but particularly this morning it was in the shower. So you just, this is what you want to be noticing. When you let go in your mind and you don't think about things and you don't try to work them out from a really lower perspective, then you will get more enlightenment from a really higher perspective. And that will feed you into a more feeling good and more of a let go and more of a vibration of wholeness and a freedom of the masculine energy in that other person and an ability of them to move into more feminine and open and up energy and a freedom point of moving towards love. All right, so let's get one more out on here. See, look, mind of the masculine is coming out on the moon. So we got that coming up. I'm trying to think what is the moon sign that we've got coming up. I can't remember what it is. It doesn't matter, I suppose. You might want to look into what it is astrologically and focus on that maybe and see if you get any clarity, because I can't remember what it is. But anyway, mind of the masculine at this moon is really, really important. So we're looking at you really letting go in the head, really moving into just that, because then you'll receive clarity. You can't move into clarity by wanting clarity, by trying to think about clarity. It's not, if you swim there, you'll never get there, right? You can only find clarity by letting go in the head. Right, it's a really powerful intention to not, you could say, I'm not going to search for anything. I don't need anything. I don't want anything. And you would find clarity, right? That's how you find clarity. And that's our source, how you let go, by saying, I don't know. I don't know what I want. I don't know why I'm here. I don't know what all this is for. I don't know where it's going. You know what? I don't care. and then find something really fun to do, basically. Something really fun. masculine energy, creation, Ace of Wands. So this is like brand new things energetically coming from mastery of the masculine energy, which is mastery of the ego, right? So it is mastery of what goes on in your mind and not getting hooked into anything that you are fueling that's a negative scenario in your head about anything. So you want no worst case. If you're going to start it, right, this process of letting go, the first thing you let go of is all your worst case scenarios. So that could be anything. So I'll tell you something that happened last night. Sitting and I watch one TV show which I download every night just to like relax before I go to bed. So I was watching it, and this house that I bought and moved into is like really creaky and old, and it's often thrown up a lot of fear for me. Um, but I'm in the place where I'm not really experiencing a lot of fear anymore. But anyway, so I was watching this show and suddenly the TV went all crackly and I heard this really like loud, creaking, metallic noise. And I nearly jumped out my skin because I wasn't expecting to hear it. And then I was like, nah, that's just, whatever that I was like, well, that's just the TV show, because the screen also went a bit crackly. And then the next thing I was like, no, it's not, it's fear, of course, it's just fear. And I was like, yeah, right, fear. Forget that. So it's like, you've got to see these things that come up in your physical domain as not worst case scenario. Because I could have, if I'd gone in my head and run down that road, I would have been like, oh, which bit of the house is falling down? What does that mean? Is it the electricity? Is it something's going to fall? But I didn't. I was like, it's just fear, and it's asking me to say it's fear and forget about it and laugh, and I did. So you've got to see the fears and not go down that worst case scenario road in terms of everything, right? So it's management of fear, mastery of fear is what we're looking at there, an opportunity for that. So some of you might be getting, again, something coming in and triggering you. Could be in relation to your twin flame story, right? Through your mind of what's going on there. It might be that you get one of those little signs through Facebook or wherever, that something's going on there. Don't go into the fear of it. You can't go into the fear of it. You need to let go of it. You need to be like, well, that's just fear coming up, and I'm not going to take any notice of that, whatever it is. Could be somewhere else in your life, but it's the management and the mastery of fear is what we're looking at, and opportunities, energetic opportunities to be in that mastery. And in that mastery, and you letting go in your mind in that way, you are helping the masculine outside of you in mastery of the mind. So their fear will diminish as your fear diminishes. They're one step behind you. Their fear isn't going to go until yours is gone, right? So again, you can't focus outside of yourself onto them and what they're doing and want them to change. You can only focus on the inside of you and what you're doing and know that they will change. Twin flame process is an energetic process. It is not a physical relationship. Not until you've been through to the end of the process, mastered the process, which is mastering the ego and the brain and your thinking process and your fear management, and then that's towards the end of the process, right? So, and they unravel and they release into freedom as you do that. So we've got that there. Let's go on her. Queen of Swords, the feminine brain, and reunion in the Six of Cups. So the reunion comes from you at the end point of this journey, mastering what goes on in your thought process. So you've got to be vigilant, right? And there's also this stuff, you just got to be in awareness of how you think and what you're thinking. Anything about them that's a fearful scenario. So I've had one person I spoke to in the fearful scenario was that it was a judgment placed on that person outside of the self. We can all do that. I could do that. I could go in my head and I could start to think about the past and our connection and what happened with us in the physical. And I could start to put a load of judgments on that person that I'm connected to in what he said, what he did, how he acted, how he was to me. But there's no point me doing that because that's coming from my ego, right? So you've got to pull back from that egoic scenario inside of you. It's still fear Because what you're saying when you think about those things is that you are expecting them to happen again. Because whatever you think about, you're putting in your vibration. And if you're going to understand this is an energetic process, you need to pull back from putting fearful scenarios into your vibration so that you can have them replicated later. And you'll get this coming in again and again on this journey, that you put those fearful thoughts into your vibration. You will then get that person coming back to you briefly. You will replay out that scenario again, and then it will all go back into separation again, because it's going to go into separation as many times as it takes for you to learn to not put that in your vibration. And that's the bottom line with that. That's just how it is, right? And then when you mastered this, which is mastering the process, and they finally come back once you've mastered that, you won't go into those scenarios again because you won't have been putting that in your vibration. But I know whenever I've started to do it, my guides they start to like the energy changes. I can feel the energy changing. It's almost like I can feel like 1,000 voices going, no, 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 no. Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. So you just got to be aware that that's not the right direction to go, right? Right, let's go on the Ten of Pentacles. Am I going here? I don't know where to go. I'm going to go on the Five of Wands. Completion. The World card, which is completion of the whole journey. Changing vibrations. So is changing the vibration of one. King of Cups and energy moving forward. So we've got Three of Wands, which is what comes, is the masculine, moving from the heart, moving forward. So, again, that vibrational focus is the completion that makes the masculine move forward from the heart. Ten of Pentacles is the Lovers, so the completion. See the two moons in the card of the Lovers at the top, so they're standing between the two moons. So it's a process that we've spoken about many times before that moves with the moons. So you do want to take notice of the moons, and where it's really, what's really important, it's not really the sign anyway, it's whether it's going to be a full moon or a new moon. Full moons are higher energy and they're enlightenment, and new moons are about the ego and releasing more ego. And as they're talking here about your success, your vibrational success is your success in your mind of you not being corded to your negative scenarios, your worst case scenarios, your doubt, your fear, and that is then transmitted to the masculine brain here at the moons. So you're going to find more fear coming from the masculine brain at the new moon, which is where we're coming to because it's the egoic moon. So their fear, yet another level of understanding about this journey, is they are a separate person in a physical, right? They've gone through a process of themselves in a physical, a life process, which has brought them many scenarios to feel fearful about, mainly feeling fearful of relationship with somebody that they might have to love, you basically, if we're going to say that. So all, their fear, which is really has mounted through their whole life process, is a fear of that, because everything that's come along the way is something that is in opposite to having that love. So it's the wrong kind of relationship with the wrong person. It's demands put on them to be something they're not, from parents and spouses, and from their peer group, and all this kind of stuff from society in general. So it's all taken them into a place of fearfulness, just about moving forward in life, a reticence to actually step out into something new. Right, so this fear, when they're pushed towards the moon, you see the Lovers standing between the moons, and it's on completion in the physical, is about their guidance, right? Higher self bringing them closer to you to manifest into your physical life, and for this relationship to manifest into the physical. And in that, when every time that moves forward through the moons, is going to bring more fear into them of actually doing it and stepping forward like that. So in their human personage, in their brain, is that fear, right? So when you get more fear coming up at the moon, you don't want to go into that fear if you can be aware of it. You want to say, like I said last night when I heard the crackle from the TV, that's just fear. I'm not going down that road of worrying about that. And perhaps that noise coming through the TV was actually because he's going into fear. And for me to do this reading today, to be able to tell people the fear can come up in many, many different ways. And not necessarily because you're thinking about them or because they've said something or done something, just fear in general. A great loud noise in your front room at 10 o'clock at night, right? And then to not be fearful of whatever that thing is that's coming in, right? Because fear, it's not going to be a direct uh, connection. You might get, there are some moons you go through where you become this person, right? So it's like you experience what they're experiencing directly because you'll be shown who they are and how they are inside of themselves. That's part of the process as well, for you to have a complete understanding of that person and a knowingness about that person, right? That's like one of the benefits almost of this process. It's that psychic ability. But also you'll just have it coming randomly, like short, sharp shocks of fear that have got no connection at all to anything that could be about them. And that's where your mastery comes in. So it's knowing that every fear that comes in is about them being in fear in their head. All right? And we're moving towards that moon. It's coming in about 2 weeks, week and a half. So not long. It's not long. I think it might be another super moon, or is it an eclipse? It could be an eclipse. If it's an eclipse, that means it's the energy's coming in now, really strong. So, and I'm sorry, I don't know the details, but I tend to not look because I just go with what I'm getting through, and they don't give me those kind of details of what it is. And, I just feel it, whether it's strong or not. It feels strong. Right, let's go here on, oh no, we're going here, 9 of Swords, which is the ending of the feminine process. And 7 of Cups, which is emotions, right? So it's about you let go of all your emotions, basically. The lessons around emotions, right? Emotions are not higher love. Emotions are often negative. They're often fearful. They're often worry and stress. And the love that you think you feel sometimes is not. It's fear. Because it's about not being with that person, never being with that person. What's that person doing? And all your feelings around that have got to be let go of, because they're not a completion energy in your vibration. They are a worry and a stress in your vibration, and they're operating against what you want, not in terms of what you want, right? So letting go of all the emotional fear that comes through the mind of the masculine in relation to you, coming through now, end that in the brain, right? Particularly worries about not being with that person is what they're saying, because that's, if it's about them, that'll be the biggest fear. It'll be like, this is never going to happen. Am I going to be in this crazy scenario inside myself for the rest of my life feeling like this? No, you're not. But you've got to let go of that scenario inside yourself, that worst case scenario inside yourself, right? And just let go of it and don't go there. Don't think about it. Put the barriers up inside yourself to what you allow yourself to think, and therefore you won't feel those things. You'll bring that person there into a more stable, masterful energy, which is mastery of the vibration. Right, now we're going to go here on Queen of Wands. And we've got the Emperor coming out as the masculine energy made manifest. So that's that vibration in that person that you're connected to. When they're ready to step forward, they will be the Emperor made manifest. So just to say, it's all coming on your vibration, which is what they've already said. Sun, wisdom. So the wisdom is happy, healthy vibration, which is just let go of everything that isn't that. Okay. No worry about your vibration. That's another thing. The mind loves to play tricks. So if you're not worrying about one thing, you'll be worrying about another thing. So not worrying about how is my vibration. The focus, right, in getting this vibration of authority is in focusing on what you love doing, how you love feeling, what you love to, yeah, that's it really. So doing more of what you love, feeling more of what you love, because if you're moving something forward into love, that's where the focus needs to be. Not worrying, have I got my vibration right? Because vibration comes on the feeling. It comes on letting go in the head of the thoughts, and the ego and the worry and the fear. Doing things that you love, feeling like you're in love with yourself and in love with life, and that openness and that freedom is where the masculine moves forward into that energy as well. So your focus needs to be on that, which no doubt they're going to say here. So we've got healing, and then we've got full, which is brand new journey, moving forward on the healing. And again, the healing is about healing of a vibration of 2 and what moves forward into the physical from that. Brand new journey in the full from 0 point. 0 point is equivalent to let go of all worries and fears, and you'll be at 0 point. Be in harmony with yourself. It's like this energy of, how can I put it? It's like, having a spa day or something to yourself at home. And like, I don't know, like really indulgent energy of just feeling good. You want to maybe take some CBD, I say it every time, have a glass of wine, laze around, pamper yourself, luxuriate, that kind of stuff. Get out of your head. If you're feeling active, I don't get it's a really active energy though this moon. I get it's more like an indulgent, luxurious energy. But if you're feeling active, do something that you love, because love moves on love, right? So the energy of love, you could go on a spending spree and buy things that you love, even, if that makes you skip for joy, then that's what you want, those things. That's what you need to do. Throw caution to the wind in terms of generating more feeling of love inside yourself in whatever way that makes you feel good. Don't restrict yourself. Okay. Creation. And then we've got 8 of Wands, vibration again. So it's the creation of the vibration, you see, by focusing on what you love and harmonizing more with yourself. You bring back to you, creating the physical, what comes from that vibration. And it's a 1 vibration, right? So it's like as you move into loving yourself more, this 1's going to move forward into being able to love more, right? Just being able to love more. So if you were going to say that on a trajectory, that's the energy first, being able to love more. Not being able to love you more, but being able to love more. And your let go point in your head is you knowing, but you're not thinking about the fact that once they're in an energy of being able to love more, you are the one that they will move towards. So you just it's like you're setting a timer, right? And when the timer goes off at 0, they come towards you. So your 0 point is knowing they will come to you when the timer goes off, right? But like when you set a timer, it's going to ring at the end. So you don't watch the timer the whole time going well, it's at 10 now. Will it ever get to 0? Oh, it's at 9. I don't know if it's going to get to 0. That happened in the past and I better just think about that again and worry about that again. And then it's at 5 and you're like, oh, I don't know, they're with somebody else. I can't see them ever leaving that person. No, you can't do that, right? You just set the timer and when it gets to 0 and it goes off, they're coming back to you. But as you let go of watching the timer, the rest of your energy is in creating a more loving feeling inside yourself and a let go feeling inside of yourself, which is coming back to self, like they said at the beginning, right? So that energy of you being in that 0 point in harmony with yourself, that let go, can assist this person in opening up into the possibilities that come from that vibrational accuracy. And therefore, yes, there's a process they go through as well, and their process is going on that timer. And first of all, it's coming into a feeling of let go and love and being able to move forward into love, and then the timer goes off and it's towards you. So that's kind of what they want to say there. We'll get one more out on him. Message, intuition. So it's coming through. They said before, it's like a primal energy. So it's a chemistry energy when that person comes forward. It's got nothing to do with the brain at all. It's not anything to do with... the decision's already made, you could say. The reunion decision is already made because it's made in soul. It's made in vibration. You're here for that. So you don't have to make decisions or come to a justification or some kind of understanding around that. Like we say, the timer is set, so the reunion is definite, right? So it's coming from your intuition of knowing that, and you're allowing that to just stand as it is without thinking about how it can or can't happen. Knowing that it will happen is a releasal in the brain. You let go, and then that intuition can work through their brain, right? Because that's your point of zero on them at the moon, and love comes back, right? Eight of cups is with love coming back again, the spiral in the eight, love coming back. So that's how it happens, right? So it's a process, and it's a process in both people, but it's only one vibration, and it's a work of vibration. It's a mastery of vibration. Nothing is ever wrong. Nothing is ever, in the only thing that can be in resistance to the final outcome is you inside your head. The process is not resistance. The process is process and has to be how it is for you to learn to operate from a let go, which is then operating from an understanding that things come from feeling good and into the vibration from the feeling good. So you're in a management of vibration process. In fact, we should call it that rather than twin flame, because twin flame just is a trigger that makes people focus automatically on another person. So maybe we'll change it to that. I don't know. I'm going to go one more there. Hanged man process. Right? The creation and the physical is a process of understanding what comes from vibration, basically. Anything else? I'm going to put one more down here on this Nine of Swords with the 7 and the emotions. And what's right, justice. So what's right comes from your ending in the mind and your lessons around your emotions. And these two things are connected again, right? So when you get it all right there, you are going to be in mastery. And anything else? No, yeah, maybe. I'm going to go one here. Dark to light. We know that already, though. It's a process of changing dark to light. So it's in process of changing fear to let go, really. Romance has got nothing to do with it. We've said that many times before. I'm going to go one more on these because I like these two underneath. Mastery of vibration. Mastery of the masculine, vibrate part of the vibration. Ace of Wands creating. Head over heart. Right. So head is masculine, heart is feminine. And it's the creation of letting go of the head. As you can see, it's upside down and moving into the heart for yourself. There's only one person in the card there. You can see it's all inside of you, masculine and feminine. See that person cheering? They're cheering because they've come into love for themselves and happiness for themselves. And that's the process. Okay. I don't know if there was two people. He's sitting down there. She's standing up there cheering. She's kind of herding him, right? She's herding him because she's herding the vibration to the point of conclusion. Right. I'm going to leave it there for this. So I guess it's for the next moon, really, because they brought that right out in the middle as the issue at hand. So I'm going to label it as the moon reading, starting from this weekend, working up to the 11th. And I will be doing some monthlies, but I don't know when they'll be out, probably mid next week. It might be earlier. I don't know if I'm feeling it today, to be honest. Might be a bit too croaky. But I hope you're doing well in your processes, and that you're getting a handle on it, and that you're moving into more let go, and more freedom energy inside yourselves, and more just feeding your vibration, feeding your soul. See, people say feeding your soul, don't they? And that's just feeding your vibration. And what do you feed it with? You feed it with feeling good. And feeling good comes from letting go. And form shows up. The good form, the form you want, shows up from letting go. So that's it.
I'm going to leave it there. Lots of love. If you did want to book a personal reading, I'm taking a break because it's Memorial Day weekend. So I'm going to be, oh, is it this weekend? Hang on. I think it's the 31st, isn't it? Oh, well, I don't know. Oh, in England, it's a bank holiday, though. So I'm not going to be, I'll be back at work on Tuesday, which I think looks on like the 4th. Yeah, I think Memorial Day weekend might be the end of the month. Well, maybe we're working up to that, or maybe I'm working up to that with what they're telling me. All right, lots of love. Take care. Bye.